Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to remotely administer your Wi-Fi Pineapple version 4. First of all, you're going to need to download Putty, PuttyGen, and WinSCP, and you're also going to need to get a virtual private server to connect to. Here's one from DigitalOcean that I really like. It's very affordable, and it's really cool, easy to set up, extremely easy. I love the interface. You can create a free account without a credit card, but be warned that if you don't add a credit card within the first hour, I believe, that your account will be suspended unless you add a credit card. So it gives you enough time to try it out. But for this tutorial, it may take longer. So just add your card and you will get a free trial. You'll just get your account credited like $1.25 and they just charge you hourly. So it's 0.007 per hour. This is plenty enough you can choose, so just sign up for an account, add your card, or whatever virtual private server you have, because you have to have one out on the cloud, on the internet, for your Pineapple to connect to, like a proxy you're connecting to. You connect to the virtual private network, and then you can connect to your Wi-Fi Pineapple. But anyways, once you got that set up, just create your virtual private server. Make sure you select the image of Ubuntu 12.04 32-bit. And also note that in the latest version firmware of the Pineapple 2.7.0, they changed where the Wi-Fi Pineapple interface is. So instead of 172.16.42.1/pineapple, it's 172.16.42.1:1471. So it's on port 1471. And also make sure your Pineapple has internet access to get it set up. I got other videos on how to do that, internet connection sharing. So set up your virtual private server and it'll give you an email of your username, which is usually root, and a password and the IP address for your server. So anyways, let's get started. We're going to configure the server and we're going to get public keys, encryption going on, and set up the Pineapple, and from there we'll have some fun. But anyways, we'll put in the IP address of the virtual private server that I just created a while ago. On port 22. We're going to name this server because we're going to go in and out. I don't want to always be typing in. It'll just make it easier. Just click on the save sessions and load. So we're going to open up and click yes. It's just that the public key isn't in the known hosts on my computer, but now it's been added. So we're going to log in as root on my server and the password you got in your email. Okay, we're logged into my server. Now the next step is we're going to change the root password of the virtual private server. So we're going to do PASSWD and enter in your new password. And there we go. We updated our password. So now whenever you log into your server, you're going to use that new password. So next, we're going to add a new user because it's bad to log in as root all the time. So we're going to do /usr/sbin/add user. And we're going to name it demo. You can name your username whatever you want. It could be Mitt, Joe, or who knows, whatever you want. And enter a new password. It should be different than the root password. Enter it again. And you can enter in some values or whatever, like the name, room number, work phone. I don't care about it. I just click enter and yeah, it's correct, whatever. Anyways, now we got a new user, we're going to have to give it administrator privileges. We're going to have to use vi-sudo. So we're going to go to user /user /sbin /vi-sudo. And we're going to scroll down and find user privilege specification. So underneath the root and all this all in all, we're going to add our username demo and just copy the root. It's case sensitive, so make sure it's exactly as root. And we're going to do Control X on the keyboard. We're going to click yes and enter. There we go. Now we gave that administrator privileges. So what we're going to do next is quickly open up a new putty, because now we're going to have to add the known host from the to the pineapple from the server. So anyways, we're going to connect to our pineapple. And we're just going to add that as pineapple. Same. So then I always have to type that in. I just click on that and load. So as usual, click yes. We're going to log in as root and the password. If you don't know what the password is, unless you changed it, it's pineapples are yummy. I'm just clear it out. And we're going to SSH at your IP address. Also, you should have your username in the front, demo at, and yes, Y for yes, and enter in the password. And there we go. I'm logged into my server from the pineapple, so we can exit out of that. It's in our known host. So we can go to SSH, and you can see there it is. So anyways, now that we got that done, we're going to go back to the server, and we're going to nano the SSHD config. So it's /etc SSH SSHD _config. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the port. You don't have to, but it just makes it more secure. Then people aren't just trying to brute force any port 22 and any IP address. I'm just going to change mine to 2001. It can be anything. So we're going to scroll down. Make sure RSA authentication is set to yes and public key authentication is set to yes. Password authentication is set to yes for now. And to the bottom, we're going to add a couple of things. Use DNS, set to no, and we're going to allow users, my name, whatever you set your new account to, mine is demo, and we're going to put allow TCP forwarding set to yes, and gateway ports set to yes. This allow TCP forwarding gateway ports will allow me to connect directly to the pineapple on a different port on the server instead of directly connecting to the virtual private server and then SSHing to my pineapple. Makes it more fun and easy. So let me double check. That's about it. Do Control X, Y for yes, enter, and we're going to reload the SSH server right there. So now that's set up, we're going to create public and private keys on the server so we can be more secure connecting to our server instead of password, all encrypted, all that goodness. So we're going to open up WinSCP to get the files from the server. Also, too, before we do that, let's log out of root. Open up a new putty. We'll load up the server. And it's on port 2001, as you remember. Save. on the server because saw a lot of people forget to change the port because we just changed the port and reloaded the SSH daemon. So now we're going to log in as the new user. Click yes, demo, and then the password for it. And there we go. All right, let's go back to here. Type in the IP address of the server. On port 2001, username is demo and the password. And we're going to save this because we're going to go in and out. It'll just make things a whole lot easier. So we're just going to log in, click yes. You might have to enter your password. This is the password you set up for the demo user account. So now we're logged in here into demo. Now on this, let's see if we're in the right directory. Looks like it. All right. So now we're going to do SSH tac keygen, and we'll name it server. You can enter in a passphrase if you want. You don't have to. This will allow you to encrypt your private key. You can if you want, but I'm just going to click enter, enter, and there we go. I created the two keys. There's a server, which is the private key, and the server.pub, which is the public key. Refresh this. There they are, the server, public, and private key. So if we do ls-tech-la, we'll see we don't have a .ssh folder. So we're going to do make dir mkdir .ssh. You can see there it is. We'll cd ... oh no, let's do cd, go back, hang on a second, cd into .ssh, and we're going to have to create an authorized underscores keys file. This is where we put our public key into. So we're going to do touch authorize under keys, and there it is. So we're going to do cd ... go one directory back up. So we're going to take our public key right there and put it in our authorized underscore keys. So we're going to cat server.pub .. two of those right arrow signs to .ssh / underscore keys. Should work. There we go. So now we're going to cat the underscore keys file. And you can see there's my public key in there. So now I'm able to log in. So we got that set up. So we're just going to copy this to my desktop. This public and private key that I just created on the server. Also note, don't use puttygen to do this. Make sure you use the server because puttygen has a different format layout that the server doesn't recognize. So if you try and put the public key that you generated from puttygen onto the server, it'll just flare out and won't let you in. So anyways, now that we got that all set up on the server, we need to convert this private key that putty can read because we're going to log in with putty. We need to change the format a little bit. So this is why we need puttygen. We're going to load that private key. And we can convert it, and we're just going to save that private key. I don't want to encrypt it with a passphrase. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to name it server putty. Something easy to remember, and there we go. So now that we got that set up, we're going to try and log in using that public key. Hopefully it'll work. I got it set up right. So I'm going to exit out of the server. I'm going to load it back up. And under the SSH, you're going to go to auth, and you're going to look for that server putty.ppk. This is the private key. We're going to go back and we're going to click on server and save so we don't have to always go back and add that in. Makes life a whole lot easier. So we're going to open. We're going to log in as our user that we put in. And there we go. I authenticated in with my private key, and I'm in. Everything's encrypted from me to the server. So now that we can log in with our private key, we're going to sudo nano / etc sshd underscore config and enter in your password for your account that you created. Hang on a second, sorry about that. SSHD, not S. There we go. And we can go down and we're going to find uncomment this password authentication, and we're going to switch this to off. Now be careful about this. Make sure your public key is working, not with the password, because you'll lock yourself out and you'll have to rebuild the server pretty much. Control X, yeah, Y for yes, and enter. So we're going to exit out and we're going to try logging in. Oh, great, I accidentally changed it. Oh well, I'll type it back in. Port 2001. Should be about it. Save. We're going to try without the public key to see if I can log in with the password. So we're going to do demo, and I'll enter my password. Okay. Oh yes, I forgot one last thing to do. Sudo reload SSH. We have to reload the SSH server to take effect. Now let's try it again. There you go. As you can see, no supported authentications available except for public key. So we're going to log back in and we're going to use that private key that we have. There we go. So that's pretty much all set up. Let me check one last thing. Double check that. Let me go back to the SSHD config. I want to make sure root login is disabled, so I can't log in via root. Where is that thing? Find it quick. Well, anyways, you can just add that in later. It doesn't matter. Anyways, just going to exit out of that. That doesn't matter. All right. So next that we got all that set up, we are going to go to the pineapple and set that up. Let's read my notes quick. Gets a bit hard to do this. Anyways, here we have auto SSH. It'll automatically reconnect to the server. It's lost. TAC R for remote. So this is an important part. On the server, it's going to make a listen port on 4255. It can be anything. Like I said, 1025 all the way up to 65,000 something. Anyways, I'm just going to leave it at this to make it simple. And when I connect to that, it'll connect to localhost the pineapple at port 22, which it's running on. So we got to connect to our server. So change the root to your username, and instead of example.com, put in the server's IP address. And / 2001 because it's on port 2001. And there is the private key. So we can just click save. Also, we're going to need the public and private key the pineapple needs to generate. So we're going to generate that. And it's generated. So we're just going to copy this from the pineapple, the E, all the way at the end, all the way to SSH. Copy that. And we're going to go back here. Refresh. Here's the .ssh folder. Authorized keys. We're just going to edit that. And at the bottom, we're just going to paste in that one line we did. Public key for the pineapple, because we turned off. Oh yes, too. But before I forget, we're going to have to open up WinSCP again because password authentication has been disabled. So we have to use the putty, our private key, to get back in. So we're just going to save that. So it's easier for us to get back in. There we go, authenticated in. No password. That's pretty sweet in my server. So anyways, I'm just going to edit. And I'm going to go back and add it like I was going before. Add it in there. The pineapple's public key. And there we go. We saved it in there. And I think we can use either one. It looks like I doubled up. But anyways, we're going to... This is root. Okay, this is the pineapple. This is going to be sudo reload SSH. So I'll reload it. You notice that I think it keeps the password in for so long so you don't have to keep on re-entering it if you do sudo. So anyways, that should be about it. Demo, your username, IP address / the port number, whatever that was, and here is the private key, tag I, for that paired public key. So hopefully it should work. We're going to connect. Hopefully this will work. There we go. We're connected to my server. So this is where the fun begins. This gets a lot of fun. So since we're on the server, on my user right here, what we're going to do is we're going to do it this way. SSH demo at host tag p4255. See right here, we're going to log into, actually it's not demo, it's root because that's the pineapple's username, and we're going to SSH to the pineapple. I'm on my server at localhost, connect to from myself to myself, if that makes any sense, because I'm connecting to that port, remember, on my server on 4255. So hopefully this will go smoothly. And yes, we're going to add the fingerprint of the public key or whatever to my known host, I believe. And we're going to enter in the password of the pineapple. And there we go. As you can see, I logged into my server and then I logged into my pineapple. Really easy. Normally, you would put like a 3G modem in and set it up and throw it out there and just follow the setup that I just did now. Really easy. On Linux, you can set it up, transfer files. If you don't have WinSCP like on a Mac, you can use SCP built into the terminal. That's really easy. You can look up, Google it, how to transfer back and forth files. So anyways, here is another way. Now, if you remember correctly, I allowed TCP forwarding and gateway ports set to yes. And that's really a nifty feature. So when I do that, I can connect to 4255 on my server directly, and I just skip over connecting to my virtual private server. So here, I'll show you what I mean. So we got it set up. We don't need the private key for the server. You can if you want. It'll reject it because I'm directly connecting to the pineapple. Instead of port 2001, I'm going to connect to port 4255. Hopefully this will work. Click yes. And we're going to log in as root to my Pineapple. This is forwarding me from my virtual private server, and the password for the Pineapple. And there we go. I logged in straight to the Pineapple. I didn't have to log into my server. That's really, 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 really nice. And here's a super fun thing too you can do. Now, like I mentioned that the Pineapple is running on 1471 port, we're going to do something really cool. So we're going to go load it again. And let's see. Connect 2001. No, 4255. And we're going to go down to SSH and tunnels, and we're going to do something really cool. So right here on my local machine, I'm going to create a tunnel, a listening port on 9999. It can be anything you want. And since I'm connecting directly to the Pineapple, I'll just put localhost, because I'm kind of looping back to itself, to the Pineapple, connecting to that, and colon 1471. So I connect to the remote interface. So it's local auto right there. Just add. And let's see. We're going to open. We're skipping through my server right to my Pineapple. So Pineapple's username and the password for the Pineapple. And boom, I'm logged in. I can remotely administer it. You can see right there. And the fun thing is, this gets really cool. I can connect to local, I don't know if I can spell it right, localhost colon port 9999. Boom, I can log in remotely to my web interface. Log in, and voila, logged into your Wi-Fi Pineapple interface remotely. This is really, really awesome. I love playing with SSH and tunnels. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. It's like the Swiss Army knife of computing. So anyways, there you go. I showed you how to set up your virtual private server from DigitalOcean, get it configured correctly, and set up public key encryption to the server, and set up the Pineapple so I can connect to the server, add that publicly known host, do all that stuff, and then do all the fun stuff, remotely connecting to it 2 different ways and getting to the admin page, making that tunnel. So I hope you like this tutorial. If you like it, please rate and subscribe and have fun with it. Thanks. Bye.